The saying goes that success favors the prepared. So I'd ask you, are you prepared? Do you walk through life prepared, or are you always reacting? And no, I'm not talking about do you have every EDC gadget and are you ready for every emergency and do you have a bug out bag? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking just about a general mindset of intentionality, of living with purpose and intention. It's a completely different way to experience life than to just always be reacting. And I look around and I feel like everybody is so busy that we're always just reacting. We're always kind of running late. We're always kind of running behind. And therefore, we're just kind of reacting to whatever the world, whatever life, whatever the day throws at us. And I don't think that we should plan everything out and that life should be so rigid and we should try to control everything, because that's just got anxiety written all over it. But what I've noticed in my own life is I've noticed the shift when I live with more intention and purpose. And I even see this in my marriage. We try to do a thing on Sundays where we have like a little relationship business meeting, and I can tell a difference in our marriage and in our family when we have that meeting, because what that meeting does is it prepares us for the week. It sets a tone and it helps us get ahead so we're not reacting every day. And so I think we could all benefit from trying that mindset of being more prepared. And you can take 5 minutes to be more prepared for client meetings at work, or to be more prepared as a dad with, hey, what am I going to do with my son this weekend to show him love, and instead of just watching TV, right? It's just taking 2, 3, 5 minutes to think things through. You can prepare your food, your lunch for the next day at work, instead of picking up McDonald's or picking up a cheap, unhealthy sandwich, right? It's these little things. It's a completely different mindset to live prepared than to live reacting. And so today, on this video, my goal is just to talk about how I have to live with that type of mentality because I have an ostomy, right? And so with an ostomy, I no longer have a bowel movement like a normal human being, right? I have a small piece, about 1 inch of my small intestines that sticks out of my stomach, and now I have bowel movements into a bag around my stomach. And so that affects every 10 to 20 minutes of my life, right? It's never going away. And it makes a lot of moments very challenging and very difficult. But one of the hardest parts about that is I have no control over when I have a bowel movement. It can be rather embarrassing at times, right? Like I can be in the middle of having a meeting with a client at work, and whether the client can hear anything is a whole different story, right? Sometimes you would never know. Sometimes my stomach is making some noises. I have no control over it, and so that makes almost everything challenging. But it makes challenging very difficult. And I'm married. We have 3 kids under the age of 6 years old. And we are taking a long car drive, and we are headed to Disney. It's going to be a great vacation. But for present, the last time we traveled, last summer, what was supposed to be a 14-hour car ride turned into about a 20 to 21-hour drive because of some bad traffic, because we had a 1-year-old and we had to stop for, feeding and changing, but also in a large part because I have an ostomy. And we would stop and I would go to the bathroom, and sometimes I would make it 2-3 hours, and sometimes we'd be 45 minutes down the road and we'd have to stop again. Once again, I have no control over it. So when I have to go and empty my ostomy bag, I have to do it whether I want to or not. So here, what we're doing is I am taking some that prep intentionality mindset, and I'm really trying to be more prepared for myself, but also for my family. And so we'll go through this another day, but I bought this orange Yeti thinking this would do the trick, but it's a little bit bigger than I imagined. And so this is gonna live in the back of my car, and it's gonna have stuff for me with my ostomy and some other stuff for just kind of every day, right? So I'm gonna put this aside. We'll talk about that another video, another day. But this is what I am taking on vacation. This will stay in the back of my wife's van, so it's always there. I never have to wonder, do I have something? I've got stuff in my car and I have stuff in her car, and this is what we're taking on vacation. So here is what I'm doing, and if you have an ostomy, I'd love to hear in the comments. Please drop some tips, some things you've learned from your years of traveling and going on vacation. And if you found something helpful, let me know. We'd love to learn together. But a lot of you don't have ostomies, so maybe this is just completely interesting to you. But this is what I'm doing. I bought this Yeti. It's a load out Go Box 15, and it comes with this little tray container, and then it's empty right here, and I've put stuff in here. So what I've done is I have decided that wherever I go, I'm gonna have everything I need to change my bag. Sometimes the sticker part will kind of start coming undone, and if you don't act and change your ostomy wherever you're at, your bag wherever you're at, you're gonna have crap on your hands, literally. So I've got in here stuff to take care of, some just kind of regular first aid, but also ostomy supplies, and you'll see here in a minute a change of clothes, because while extremely embarrassing and uncomfortable, it is a reality, and anybody with an ostomy can attest to it. Every once in a while you have these freak accidents because your bag broke or something happened and you need a change of clothes, you need some new ostomy supplies, so you better be prepared. So this will be in the back of my wife's car, and if something should happen on vacation, I will do my best to get to the car and take care of it. I'm thinking about taking a small bag into the parks with me, so I could even just go into the bathroom at the parks. But here's what I've got. I've got a pair of first aid scissors. This is extremely helpful. Here in a minute, I'll talk about creating some good Band-Aids. I've got some alcohol swabs in here. I've got a Tide Go pen, and then I have my ostomy supplies, right? So I have an ostomy bag, and then I have the sticker part, and I have some small trash bags in a little Ziploc bag, and then I've got another set of ostomy supplies down below. So I've got 2 sets of ostomy supplies, some trash bags to take care of trash, and then up front here in this little part, I've got some lotion. This is this is called O'Keeffe's Working Hand Cream, and it's not a greasy lotion. So when you're out in public, sometimes you don't want your hands to feel super greasy. But with an ostomy, I wash my hands all the time, and my hands are extremely dry. So I always need lotion on me. So I've got lotion, I've got some hand sanitizer, and then I've got some Tylenol, and then I've got a small travel size dude wipes. So yes, you could do baby wipes and it would probably work the exact same, but I'm a dude and I don't want baby wipes. And then over here, I just have regular Band-Aids. I have Neosporin. I have some electrolytes. So I have 2 types of electrolytes. I have BPN, Bare Performance Nutrition. I like their electrolytes. This is just one of the packages because it's easy to just have a little package in here. And I also have Primal Hydration, which I think is really good as well. I don't love the flavor as much, but it's good. But over here, what I want to talk about that maybe this is new to you, but I get lots of cuts on my fingers. Once again, I have super dry hands because I wash my hands all the time with my ostomy, and I get lots of cuts on my fingers, especially in the winter. And it probably sounds like a really small, trivial thing, but this gets very painful over the winter because I'll have 3-4 fingers with big cuts on it, and it just makes doing regular basic typing on a computer, texting somebody, opening a door, like it seems really weird because I have a high pain tolerance, but it wears on you when your fingers and touching everything hurts. So I try to get ahead of that in a lot of ways, but sometimes you can't. So I have Band-Aids, and I'll put some Neosporin on a Band-Aid and put it on my finger, but Band-Aids don't stay on fingers very well. So here's the trick I've learned, is I've taken KT tape, and I've got some blue stuff here so you can see it, but regular KT tape is about, 1.5 inches thick. And so I've cut it in half into these little strips. And the KT tape is super sticky. And so I feel like once you wrap the KT tape around your finger a couple times, it gives it more stability and it doesn't come off as easy. So if that's important to you, I've found that that works. So that's where these scissors come into play, because you can't tear KT tape, but these just first aid scissors will cut the tape rather well. So that is what is in the tray. Now, I just put this together for the first time this past week. So I don't have a lot of experience of if this is the right stuff or not. So once again, comment down below, tell me what you think, but this is what I'm doing. It makes sense in my mind, but it's gonna be a learning experience, and I'll report back on if this worked or not. Now, in the actual box, it's, it's about 10 to 12 inches deep. I have all my ostomy supplies for the whole trip. Now, once we get to the hotel, I will take this out. But this is a bunch of extra ostomy supplies, and I want them in here just so everything's in the same place, and this is airtight, waterproof, and I think it's gonna travel more protected. So I have all my ostomy supplies. I have a little flashlight. I'm a big proponent of having a little, I just dropped it, having a little flashlight everywhere now. I'm not a big EDC guy. I can see myself becoming one, but I just have a little small flashlight in here just because. And then, like I said, I have a change of clothes. So I just took a plain black sports shirt and some shorts, and conveniently I picked some shorts with the liner in them, so you don't have to pack underwear as well, right? The built-in underwear liner just solves for that, and an extra pair of socks and some more electrolytes for the trip. So not everything will stay in here the whole trip. Once again, once we get to the hotel, I'll take some of this out, but the clothes and some of the ostomy supplies will stay in here, and we'll see. This is the goal. That way, in case I have an emergency or something comes up or I just need some electrolytes, I have everything I need within a relatively close distance. So the goal is that my preparation will help my family and myself have a better experience. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna document the trip to a degree. I'm gonna document traveling, the actual drive, and then part of the vacation. So stay tuned. In a coming video here soon, I'll tell you all about the trip and what I learned, and hopefully you can learn from my successes and my failures, and you can have a better, if you have an ostomy, you can learn from me, and we can do this together. So thanks for tuning in to this episode where we talk about prepping for vacation. I hope to see you on the next one.